This episode of the Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Black Box Prompter. Are you a musician tired of being tethered to your tablet or music stand? Do you long to connect with your audience on a deeper level, but find yourself constantly glancing down at your lyrics and chords? Then I highly recommend Black Box Prompter, the smart and stealthy lyrics and chords teleprompter designed to liberate musicians from the stage clutter. This innovative device is perfect for bands, hobbyists jamming out in the garage, touring pros rocking arenas, and even houses of worship looking to elevate their services. It discreetly displays your lyrics and chords, allowing you to maintain eye contact with your audience, adding an extra layer of authenticity and connection to your performance. Don't let distractions hold you back. Unleash your full potential and create a more powerful connection with your audience with Black Box Prompter. Click the link in our episode description and use the promo code Corcoran at checkout for 10% off your purchase. Black Box Prompter, the smart teleprompter built for musicians by musicians. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Franky Corcoran. How we all doing? Everyone having a good week and stuff? Before we start the show, I just want to say first off, so we normally do this. These insider podcasts after we wrap up a theatrical production, and I know that some of you listening probably most likely haven't seen the show because depending on where you're listening from and this and that. So what I started to do is whenever I do this, we have an episode coming on Thursday, which will include a guest interview, and we will also do our solo segments too. So that will be out Thursday. We just like to keep these insider podcasts fresh after the show's done. And also just a quick plug for an event that's coming this Saturday. Character Matters Miramichi presents Is He Awake? A Last Toast to Old Matt Daly, an encore of the show that they did back in June. Hilarious show. Be sure to see the reprise of Tom Daly's love letter to Irish comedy. The legendary old Matt Daly has died, and Pat Power has confirmed it as only he can. Mike McGrath has grudgingly agreed to hold the wake at his house, and Bridget Regan is busy cooking a meal capable of feeding the whole of Barnaby River, animals included. The show that left people rolling in the aisles last June returns to the stage just in time for St. Patrick's Day. Grab a holy card, some fudge, and join them. Tickets are $25 and available at the door, and the storm date is on March 16th. Warning, you might die laughing. So I just wanted to give a quick plug for that because that's a great show, and it's awesome to see that they're doing it again. So get into the St. Patrick's spirit and go see the show at Nelson Rule School this weekend. Moving on to the Insider podcast. We had a great weekend. First off, I just want to thank anyone who's listening. Thank you very, very much for coming out to see the show, support the show, writing out good reviews for the show. This play was really a passion project for everyone involved. And it's just it was truly just very rewarding, and it's one of those shows that, as I said, being a passion project, one that's very near and dear to our heart. It of course, just to kind of give a quick rundown, Leo Dalton, he is a famous playwright. I should mention too, some people thought he was real. He's not real. He's a guy I made up, and it wasn't a historical play. It was a play. In a sense, play/concert/musical, I guess you can call it. And so he's telling his story. He's a acclaimed playwright who is telling his story before the audience, why he decided to, or maybe not decided to, it was kind of, he had no choice to become a playwright from a famous former classical musician to a playwright. So it's he kind of tells his journey while being backed up by an amazing string quartet, which these guys knocked it out of the park. Natalia Boorquez, Estelle Simon, Josiah Sanchez, and who's on the show today, Labib Palis, composed by Andreas Boorquez, and remarkable team. We got a fantastic team. He composed a lot of the music. It was such a unique show too. that not many people. It's not something you see every day. It's not something where you see a concert slash narration with story and stuff like that. And I'm a huge fan of plays and musicals like Tick Tick Boom. That was one that I was heavily inspired by and influenced. And I also I know some people might not like this. I love those music biopics. Elvis, Maestro, what's the Johnny Cash one again? I can't remember what it was called. I Walk the Line, I think it was. Yeah. And I always loved how those were done. And I'm like, I would love to do something like that someday. And this was the perfect way to kind of start something like that. Yeah, truly amazing experience we had. And I had a lot of fun doing the show. And we also want to thank the support of Arts MB, Downtown Newcastle, and the Kinsman Club of Miramichi for their help in sponsoring this project, giving us the funds to lift this project off the ground and to put on one hell of a show for everybody. And I'm glad it all went according to plan. And it's one that was really near and dear because of like just really, it's one of those stories where I kind of wrote from the heart in a way. I mean, obviously things were dramatized and everything, but it was just an artist struggling with just the stuff that goes on in life, dealing with having to get a real job, deals with grief with the loss of his mother, buries himself into work to not have to deal with his mother's death, and then in doing so damages his relationship with his wife, which leads to their divorce. His father gets mad at him, and then ultimately, when he has nobody and this and that, he gets in an accident that leaves him unable to play on the violin anymore, which makes his classical career pointless, you know. And so then, not choosing to let that affect him, he decides to instead just pick up his notepad and write plays and write, and found success through that. So it's one of those things that's inspiring. If you can't do one thing because of a certain reason or whatever, nothing's stopping you from doing something else, you know? And that's something I wanted to keep people inspired by. I wanted to really drive that home, that don't let what disabilities or anything you might have hold you back from doing what you love. Tell your stories and stuff, you know, tell people what you went through, and it'll help somebody, you know. And even if one person could be affected by it or impacted by it, it's all worth it. Really, really is all worth it. And so we want to do more with this project. We really, really do. And you know, we'll kind of see what happens. But yeah, this is to just kind of give a insider's look of you know, what goes into making these shows. I really enjoy doing these insiders podcast. We had some scheduling conflicts after the show. We had some people leave, go on vacation, go home, you know, like we had all kinds of different people not able to do it. So, but Labib Palis was a huge driving force behind this project. He, of course, was one of our violinists for the string quartet, and absolutely fantastic, great guy, one of my good friends, and I'm super, super excited that we got to have him on here today, just kind of talk about the project. As I said, him being one of the creative driving forces behind this and of Concertine Collective, and got some exciting stuff coming up with Concertine Collective, which we will talk about in the show today. But we will go in depth a little bit on the project, why he wanted to do it, and this and that. And so without further ado, guys, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast today. All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a very special edition of the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I am, of course, Franky Corcoran, but you all knew that from the intro. You're not here. You're not just here to hear me ramble. I got one of our cast members today. It's kind of funny. As soon as the show ended, everybody's schedules just went crazy. So, of course, we have a few people gone on some trips, and we got some people who are jumping right back into other projects. But Labib Palis has been taking some time to rest because it's been a long. I mean, it's been in the works for a while, but he's kind of just taking some time to recuperate. Labib was, of course, the violinist for the fourth movement. What's going on today, man?
Hello, how are you? Like, happy to be here.
It's just so crazy to think like just how where we started versus where we are now. I mean, like when guys first started Concertine Collective, did you guys ever imagine just how far it would go? Was it one of those things that once you started it, it's like, yeah, who knows if it'll go anywhere? Like, are you kind of surprised and pleased by where it's gone?
Well, surprised, no, but happy, yes. Surprised, no, because when we started this, we had a goal in mind that we want to collaborate and we want to, I mean, like one of the conversations that we had at the beginning was to like, okay, we need to play with local players and with local people here, but also we need to bring people from different places. Um, so that's been something that has been happening since last year, actually, from because last year we had the program with the libraries, and we started bringing people from Richie-Pocteau and from Bathurst. So I'm not surprised that it's getting bigger and like um, uh, more interesting to work with, but happy that that's happening because it's like we are achieving our goals.
And that's the best, man. Like it's just it's one of those things, and hearing everyone's responses and then all the messages and stuff that we were getting afterwards, it was just so one of those things that it's like it's kind of hard to put into words, really, like just how we envisioned it, thinking like, okay, this is something new, we haven't done nothing like this before. So there was already a little bit of maybe not trepidation, but there was a little bit of, I wonder if people are going to like this. And I'm really glad that the response was so positive. How have you felt since the show because not just you were doing the violin and the music and stuff, which is like you could do that in your sleep. But I also kind of put you guys on the spot because we had a little bit of talking. You guys had to do some speaking and some acting. Did that add to the stress or anxiety of the production?
Well, that I wouldn't say anxiety. It's just that it was something new to do because I mean I've been working playing violin for a very long time, so it's not that I don't get stressed anymore or nervous because that would be a lie. Every time that you're gonna perform, you feel a little something, but by now I feel that that is something that um, I can do, like, like I don't get that nervous anymore. But yeah, like having to have some lines and stuff, especially since, well, English is my second language, and I know that I have a strong accent. So sometimes I'm like, well, there's a word that I know I can say it, but like it's a different thing to say it in theater because uh, people need to understand what you're saying. So that was something that I was like crossing my mind. But honestly, like I mean, like the stress isn't was not about the performance. The stress was about organizing the people, right? Because we had the composer that he came to Canada, but then he was studying the music, but then he went back to Colombia. So we were like, okay, it's gonna be the music on time, and then sending the music to our different performers because we had, I mean, the thing is that we have little time to practice, right? So the if everyone gets the part, the earlier the better. So that way everyone can um, prepare, right? So the stress for the show for me was to like organize everything that like everyone had their materials. So that way when we rehearse, everything goes smooth.
And it really was, I mean, you and Natalia being the two creative forces behind Concertine Collective. I mean, not just the creative, but like you guys are the force behind Concertine Collective. And so it was all a matter of not just making sure that the quality was good, but also keeping the production side of things. Keeping them afloat, making sure that we're able to get the people here for the rehearsals and getting the music and stuff and keeping them all in the loop. I always love asking this to people who are, whether they're directors or producers or whatever. How do you manage? Because, I mean, as I mentioned, you guys run Concertine Collective. And you're also in charge of the creative side of things too, where you're coming up with the different creative projects and stuff. How do you kind of find that balance of trying to perfectly balance out the production side of things and making sure that all that's good, but then also trying to make sure that that doesn't affect the quality of the work?
I think it's easy because we have fun doing the projects, right? Because um, I mean, like we love playing music, so it is easy just to find a way of okay. So like making music is not just like getting my instrument and like practicing and playing. It's also like everything that is surrounded, right? Because you need to get the funds, you need to get the space, you need to get everything. So like I feel I don't know Natalia, but I think we share the same sentiments that it is fun to do. So like it is not hard to balance, or it's not hard to like, oh my God, this is super stressful because of something or overwhelming. No, it's just okay. So we divide and conquer. It's like you have a task, I have a different task, and everyone goes at it, and it's just fun. And then when everything happens, it's like, well, like we did it. It's awesome.
The Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Podmatch, the ultimate platform designed to connect podcast hosts with prospective guests effortlessly. Are you a podcaster looking to elevate your show to new heights? Or perhaps you're a guest hoping to share your story with a broader audience? Whatever your podcasting goals are, we have the perfect solution for you. Podmatch simplifies the entire process of discovering guests for your show or finding podcasts to feature your expertise. Now imagine a platform where you can easily match with like-minded creators tailored specifically to your niche. With Podmatch, you can effortlessly network with influencers and thought leaders, all while staying true to your podcast vision. There are a multitude of ways that Podmatch can help you grow your brand. You can be part of a thriving community of podcasters and potential guests. Engage, collaborate, and grow together. If you're ready to experience these fantastic benefits for yourself, we invite you to join Podmatch today. Head over to www.joinpodmatch.com/Corcoran Entertainment and sign up right now for only $6 a month. That's right, you heard me right, $6 a month. Join the Podmatch family today and watch your podcast soar to new altitudes. Thank you for tuning into the Corcoran Entertainment Show, and happy podcasting. This episode of the Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Taylor Brands. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Whether you're launching a new business, scaling your side hustle, or just want to give your existing brand a glow up, then I highly recommend you check out Taylor Brands. Taylor Brands is an all-in-one branding platform that empowers entrepreneurs and creatives like you to express your unique identity online. Their user-friendly platform helps you design logos, business cards, social media posts, and all the promotional materials that you need to get your brand noticed. And it doesn't stop there. With Taylor Brands, you'll also get access to powerful tools to manage your social media presence and create high-quality marketing content, all tailored specifically for your brand. Join the thousands of satisfied entrepreneurs who have transformed their business identities with Taylor Brands. Sign up today and use the link in our episode description to let Taylor Brands know that we sent you. Well, what I love about you guys too is like I've known people doing theater and stuff like that where it's a smaller crowd, and as soon as people hear numbers like for example, all right guys, there's 10 people out there, and they're, oh come on, really, you know. For you guys, it was always the thing I love about it is yes, you want, as you said, you want more as long as there's more of them than us, that's a good thing. But you guys are always so passionate about the craft that it was like, okay, we want people to show up, but you can just feel how much passion you have for it. And that's always what love too. But then, of course, there is also the side of professional artists trying to do this for a living and make some sort of sense of financial stability from it, and so it's a lot to it. And Estelle, who couldn't be here today, who was our viola player, she had a great quote, which was we were all throwing out different quotes about what being an artist is, and she said, "Being an artist is being broke." Do you agree with that statement at all? Because we all laughed at it, but then we're also like, there's actually kind of a truth to it. But what's your take?
Well, I think it's kind of weird. It's kind of funny we joke about it because, yeah, I mean, like, doing arts is about uh, telling a story, and the thing is like you cannot stress about things that you can't control, right? So, what can we stress about? Like getting the material, uh, getting the story together, playing our best. Because I mean, you wrote a wonderful script, so we wanted to be, like at the same kind of level in our playing, so because our music is gonna enhance the story, right? So that's the thing that we can control, and then we put the energy into the universe, and if people come, then because I've been in places that I've been playing a concert and it's like full house. I remember one time that it was very interesting. I was in the university. We got conductor that he was invited. He came from the US to Colombia, and the orchestra were like 40 people, and we had like two people in the audience. And I mean, with that crowd, you need to cancel because there's nothing to do, right? But other than that, I mean, like here also we are trying to create our audience, right? So it does little by little, and that takes time, and is step by step, right? uh I think this time we were not that nervous. We were more nervous last year when we were doing the project with the Chatham Library because we have 4 concerts, and it's like, okay, we need to have people for every concert, and every single time it was like the concert was at 2 p.m., but 1:55, 1:56, there was no one there, and we were like freaking out because like, okay, like, are people gonna show up? And then 1:59, 2 p.m., we get the people in, and that's very nice. So yeah, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you get a good audience, sometimes you don't. But art is not. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, right? You have to endurance and like um, keep going at it because that's the only way of creating an audience, and that's the only way of telling a good story.
Yes, like that's really, and I'm so glad that you brought that up. I still remember that, because I could see it in your eyes that day. I knew you were like, oh God, no one's gonna show up, and then they all came like right before we started, and I still remember afterwards you were just so overwhelmed and so humbled that people came. There was more of them than us, and it's always, you work hard for the craft. You work hard to put on a good show, and it's the more people who see it, the better. Um, but so kind of going back to the whole like music storytelling thing, and how we're really kind of trying to build and try something new, because as some of the people who have seen the fourth movement would say, unique. That was the word I heard the most, was unique. And I mean, you've seen different types of shows and stuff like that before. Have you seen anything that was anything remotely similar to the fourth movement prior to reading the script and stuff like that? And what kind of attracted you to the project?
I have not seen anything like it. I think it was a original idea because I've seen musical theater, right? So like people are singing while the story is happening. But in this case, it was not right because you were doing your monologue and then we were doing the music. But like I felt that it was a different way of telling a story. And the thing that I like about the project was because when I saw the script, the first time that I read it was about this person that he was like going to all the struggles to keep being an artist, and it's a very relatable story because, for instance, me, I mean, I'm from Colombia, but like I wanted to see other things, study abroad. Uh, so I went to the States, right? And then I left my country. So like everything, I mean, like I didn't have the same struggle as Leo of like having my mom with cancer or like, but like when you go to a different country where you're an immigrant, you leave a lot of things behind. And then you are paying with a very high currency, which is like leaving your family behind, right? So it is a story that like you can relate because we as artists we do a lot of things to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, art or doing any type of thing, whether it's you're acting, you're directing, you're a musician who's touring all the time. It's difficult to maintain. I mean, of course, like there's success that you can find, but it's also, uh, if you have family and stuff like that, you don't want to lose sight of what's important to you. Like that's something that we some of the stuff that went on in the story, to a certain extent. I'm sure lots of people, I mean, everyone's been affected by cancer in some way. People are affected by grief in some way, losing people and how they deal with it. And especially for people who want to make it into the arts, and people who are writing and submitting stuff and their work's not getting out there, it's not coming to them. And that's really something that I wanted to make sure we had something that people would resonate with, and something that people could really look at and think like, oh crap, like I see a little bit of myself in that. I mean, maybe not the broken arm or anything like that, but just the overall story. Do you prefer stories that are more grounded in reality, or some that are maybe more spectacle, where it's like a fairy tale type thing? You know what I mean? Like, do you kind of prefer where it's more realistic, or like how do you kind of prefer that? Would you have preferred a more happy ending, or are you satisfied with the realistic ending that we kind of ended up with?
Um, well, that is a loaded question because um, since I met my girlfriend, Laura, it's been cool because we like very weird movies but I mean, the thing that is more important is about the story in itself. It doesn't matter if it's happy, it doesn't matter um, if it's tragic, if it's a drama, if it's whatever it is. I think like the most important thing is that is a story well told, and a story that is true to itself. That is not trying to be something that it isn't, or like I don't know, like for instance, superheroes. Like um, superhero movies. I think like before there was something that like like Spider-Man, right? That like with a big thing, you have a big responsibility. With big power, you have big responsibility. Uh, but now it's just the spectacle. It's not about that responsibility of the character. It's just about the spectacles and whatever. So like I like stories that they're well told. It doesn't matter what it is. And in this case, I think that the story finished the way that it needed to be. It couldn't end in a different way.
Yeah, because as we said, if we're trying to make something that people can resonate with, and it just gets a happy ending and this and that, it's like, okay, we want to have hope to it, but then we also want to have that set of things where it's like, okay, things aren't gonna work out the way you want them to. Life life happens. Life's a bitch sometimes, and then it goes on. Like that's just how the reality is. And
Yeah,
so that's really what made me want to, as much as you want to do a happy ending, make things just this and that, but then again, luckily we gave the people that choice at the intermission to just leave then now. Nobody did, thankfully, and they all stuck around to see what happened next. So how would you kind of describe the journey from like the moment you first read the script versus where we are now? What has the feeling been like? Bit surreal, is it? Like, how would you describe the whole process as a whole, or summarize it?
um well, the thing is like, I remember when we met you last year, we were telling you about this project with the library, right?
Yeah.
And then out of the blue, you came out with this script, and we were like, okay, like this is something, and we need to do something about it. Um, I just, I mean, the only thing that is just so surprising to me is that uh, it happened sooner than I thought that was gonna happen. Um, so that's cool. I mean, like, just because we were thinking about, okay, so like we're gonna get music to it, and then what's gonna be? It's gonna be a string quartet. It's gonna be different things. At the beginning, I was thinking that, well, maybe we can do a collage with classical music that is already in the rep. Natalia was like, but what if we put some new music into it and whatever? And I thought, well, that's a huge thing, because getting a new music is not easy, because you need to get the funds to pay a composer and everything. Also, like to find the right person for the clicks with story and wants to also tell um, the story in the music way, right? So I just thought it was gonna be a little bit longer. I didn't think that it was gonna be like that soon, which that makes me very happy, you know?
Yeah, that's the funny part. I find a lot of projects that I go to work on and stuff. It's one of those like, oh yeah, we'll get to that, like 5 years or whatever, and the next month you're like, oh, we just started rehearsals for it. Like it's so weird how some of that stuff goes. Like even it's crazy to think. So of course we are doing the library thing again. And it's crazy because around the time that ended, we were all like, "Oh my God, we had so much fun doing it." I'm kind of sad it's done now, but I can't wait to do it again next year. And then here we are, we're already like making the arrangements to do it this year. So like it's kind of crazy how it all comes together. And yeah.
Okay, so I seen that you are tricking me because you want to announce that we have a tour coming up, right?
Yes, okay, yeah. So feel free to announce that. Did I say we had a tour? I didn't say a tour. I said we were doing a library thing again.
I mean, you were doing the everything, so that, I mean, yeah, yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, uh, that is another thing that is very cool. I mean, like, at the end of the concert, it was cool to feel that everyone, all the performers were like, we need to do this again. We need to keep playing. And now we have uh, we got some funds, so now we can do a tour. Now it's gonna be we're gonna be playing Hidden Machine, of course, but we're also gonna go to Moncton, to Dieppe, to Bathurst, to Campbellton, and to Edmonton. So from a project that was born here in Machine to playing the Chatham Library, now it becomes like a thing that we're gonna play in 6 different places in the province. I mean, that is something that, again, I didn't think that it was impossible. I think that we were gonna do it. I just didn't think that it was gonna be that soon, which again, that is awesome.
That's good. Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're thinking of a tour, you're thinking, okay, let's plan it for like, I don't know, 2, 3 years from now. And then like not even a year later, it's like, here we are, we're already prepping for it. So yeah, super stoked. That's just something like, it's doing stuff like that it just really something that brings us joy, and being able to spread it to people in Miramichi and surrounding areas, and in New Brunswick is just it's really I'm sure there's lots of people out there who thought about something like this, and they're just like, okay, I mean, where will we start? Where would we even see that around here? And so, I think what we're doing is unique. I think this production and what we did last year is just a perfect beginning to, as Natalia says, this whole thing is just the start of an era of hopefully many more things to do. As we kind of wrap up the inside look at kind of what went into the production, do you have any final thoughts, Labib, just in terms of the show, the reception and stuff like that? And by the way, we should credit to Laura, your girlfriend. We're so grateful for all the amazing work that she did behind the scenes. Just absolutely fantastic. And it's one of those things where it really takes a team to put this stuff together. And it was just like literally last minute where it's like, yeah, can you do this? Oh yeah, I'll do whatever you want. And she did it on a sprained ankle.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it was cool because I mean, like it was a team effort, right? Because when we showed the script to Andres, the composer, he read it. He was like, this is a story that is worth of being told. So he went on board, and again with Josias and with Estelle, especially Josias. I remember that I had a conversation with him because he came to rehearsal. I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Because I show him, "Hey, this is the music. This is what is happening. This is what we need to do." And then when we started the rehearsals, he was like, like I wasn't expecting to connect that much with the story because it is very relatable, right? Everyone is happening. There is something's happening to everyone. So that was very nice that the whole team got touched, and everyone just did their best.
It all worked out, man, and I'm so appreciative for. I mean, first off, just continuing this working relationship between us. After the library thing, you guys could have said to me, we don't want to work with you anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
No, of course not, of course not.
and then after I start recording, he's like, "Yeah, we're done here." But like I always say, like it's not. I mean, obviously, it's doing what you love too, but it's the people that you work with that make it that much better. And the ideas that we have, I think we work very, very well together. And I'm excited to do more. We'd love to do more with the fourth movement. And yeah, we got a tour coming up, which is kind of funny. We sound like a band. We're like AC/DC or something like that. We're going on tour.
Yeah, the
That's
thing is
awesome.
like yeah, the thing is like you I feel that to keep doing artists and to keep doing projects and keep doing all of these things, you have to be a little crazy. When I met you, I was like, this is a crazy man. So like, there's the thing that we can do.
Exactly. That's it. Are we crazy? Yeah, we're certifiably crazy.
Yes.
But that's part of it. So yeah, kind of wrapping this up, Labib, just first off, thank you again. First off, because everybody else stood us up today, so it's just you and I. No, I'm just kidding. They're all tied up. Not literally. But just the fact that we're still making very cool, unique, and fun opportunities for people around here is truly a blessing, and I'm super excited for what we're going to do next. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you it's been a long row getting this together, and so you're probably exhausted. But so I really appreciate all the hard work that you do, and it's just like seeing you guys do what you do is just remarkable. It truly is.
Of course, man. That's what I mean. That's honest. That's what I study for, just to be a musician and like just play.
See, this is what I love about him. He's just so yeah, like he could save like I don't know, like a bunch of people off the street, and they're, oh my God, you're a hero. No, that's just what I do, you know? Like I'm a superhero. No, it's just what I do. I just save people. That's what I love about it. So yeah, just fantastic. Super excited for what we're gonna do. Thank you for coming on. And
Of course, my pleasure.
any final words to the listeners or anything?
Well, just sorry that my voice is too irritable. That was the only thing that, like, in the show, like, I was feeling a little ill last week, and then Friday off, I woke up without voice. So I'm sorry that I sound terrible right now.
They give this episode 2 stars now because of that. Damn. So yeah, guys. So thank you guys very much for listening to the episode. If you're listening to this and you're looking for the regular episode, don't worry, we got that coming this Thursday. We got a great guest on as well too. Back to our regular roots. And so thank you guys for listening to the show today. Thank you to Labib Palis for taking the time to come on. And we'll see you guys on Thursday. But until then, this is Franky and Labib signing off. Take her easy, man.
You too. Bye-bye.